Gentlemen, how are we? Let's see. Is this going to let me rotate this? There we go. How are we doing? Can you guys hear me okay? Just let me know, and we'll see what we can do. Sweet. Let's see here. Trying a thing here today. Nothing but the best production for you guys. There we go, getting resituated. Let's get our angle going. Okay, so how's the sound? Am I too loud? Great. All right, well, let's get started. So how are we doing today? George, glad to see you got the notification. What's the matter? What's wrong?
The TV actually, and we pressed something.
Okay, I'll be right there. Well, gentlemen, you get to have a view real quick. I need to go up and troubleshoot. All right, gentlemen, I am back. Had to perform some technical fixes real quick. That's what I get for being the resident IT guy. Trudging through the snow, yeah, we did that yesterday. Today is bitterly cold compared to yesterday, so we're going to let things warm up a bit before we go out and go on our daily walk. So, wife and kids are up watching a pre-game stream, or pre-match stream for some arm wrestling tournament that's happening tomorrow. And I'm going to take a moment to catch up on dishes and see how you guys are all doing. We coming through clear still? Oh yeah, Phil. Jerk is awesome. I really enjoy it. First time I made it, it was requested again and again and again, so I just made a whole bunch of the seasoning. Just put that right there. Let's see, can you guys still hear me? Alright. Put this stuff away. Oh, that needs to be washed. Yeah, George. I was kind of self-taught IT during school. And did a number of things here. Did a number of things there, rather. And then from there, I worked in a family IT type business under my brother-in-law. And then afterwards, when that situation dissolved, I went into the military, as you know. And IT was my focus there, as well as afterwards, roughly 15 years or so. And now I've moved on to other endeavors for the time being. I wouldn't say no to getting back into it if the right opportunity arose. And just so far, nothing's panned out. So, just moving on. Water's nice and hot. Let's get some more soap going. Don't know how much time we've got today, so I'm just going to try and power through a bunch of this and see where we end up. Should be fun. But yeah, George, to expand a little bit, my primary focus was always really like systems administration and getting into IT security some as well. And that was, the majority of what I did, very broadly speaking. Exchange type stuff, server administration. All the fun back-end stuff was my thing. Hey, Matthew. Well, as you can see, they've been piling up. I'm just now getting started. Had a few technical difficulties upstairs to sort out, but we're back at it for the time that I have. Any additional snow? We've been getting some flurries almost every night. No more than an inch, between a quarter inch to an inch here and there. We've got a good 4 to 6 inches out on the ground right now, depending on where you look, with the possibility of a little bit more coming Monday. But not enough to even need to break out the snowblower. I cleared off the driveway a little bit, but that was just to make sure that FedEx could get in with no problems. And that's about it. How about you guys? You guys weathering the current Arctic plunge? All right. Now the first, couple of snowstorms are over here, people have seem to gotten their snowshoes on, so to speak, gotten used to driving out in it. Things aren't quite so crazy as they were the first couple of days. Yeah, George, it definitely can be. You just have to be very conscious of burnout and know that most people in IT leadership are not the greatest of leaders because they're just nerds at the end of the day. So just make sure to pace yourself. Voice when you're out of your depth. Try to come up with solutions. You'll be all right. A lot of people get burnt out because they just don't realize that a lot of IT managers are just glorified nerds that have been there a while. So once you kind of keep in mind that you have to manage your own well-being, it seems to work out better for a lot of people. Let's see, Matthew, 10 inches. Nice. Yeah, some people just don't learn. They either refuse to adapt or refuse to get the proper equipment for living in that kind of an area. When we moved here, we had one truck that had four-wheel drive, a Tacoma, and then we had a Scion TC. That Scion TC did not last long in these conditions, and so we ended up replacing both vehicles with a Tundra and a Sequoia, both four-wheel drive, very capable, especially in these conditions, and we have not been disappointed except for at the gas pump. Yeah, I find that just a good set of tires is pretty much what you need for almost any condition. Oh man, triple commute, Matthew, that's rough. Yeah, it always irritated me when people weren't prepared. So when I was out working, I generally tended to leave before they all got on the road, and then I had a nice couple hours to myself before anybody else got into the office. Because I knew I could make the commute in almost the exact same amount of time as I would normally. I mean, I really just can't say enough for having an appropriate vehicle and decent tires. Let's see. Sounds like the wife is in need. All right, let's see here. Oh, let's see. I've always been looking into getting a Toyota SUV for the family. My G35 sedan, snow tires. That's unsolvable. Yeah. The Toyota line is just incredible. And like I said, with the Tundra and Sequoia, I mean, both are extremely capable in adverse conditions, especially with four-wheel drive. When it gets a little bit hairy out there, I just throw it in 4 high and I can still cruise down the freeway at 55, no problem. Even like after ice storms and whatnot, given that we have good tires on the vehicle at the time and a little bit of know-how into snow driving. I mean, it's really, you can't beat it. And yeah, the price is kind of high for the Toyotas, but it's incredible. Well worth the money, in my opinion. One thing my dad told me before or when we were moving here, is like, no matter what you do, just make sure you have at least one vehicle fully capable of doing whatever you need to do, whether it's moving, driving in the snow. One vehicle that you can totally depend on. And then, you know, fun vehicles can happen. No problem. I found that was a good word to live by. Oh yeah, Battle. I mean, it's just dynamite. Those modern SUVs are just great, especially the full-size ones. See here, put this down over here, grab some more of these. Hey Battle, how are things looking and sounding? Improved much, you think? Oh, nice. Cool. Glad to hear. Hopefully everything will be improving somewhat across the board then. Battle, you settling in okay with the new arrangements there? I know onboarding is always a painful process, or can be, at least. Ooh, that one sticks. Yeah, that's always a challenge, trying to embed yourself into existing workflows. But you know what? I'm sure you got it. Things will work themselves out. Yeah, that's generally the best way to do it, I think. Just voice that and then be available when the call comes. All right, let's take a break from that. Grab some plates. Get some of this glass out of here. No reason to go breaking things. All right. That's not really a Colt. Yeah, I guess. But yeah, Battle. This is the one right here that I use the most. I've got like 4 of them. Just some Italian branded thing from Home Goods. And like that edge right there is nice and stout, perfect for scraping the cast irons, the wok, the enamel, all of it. Soups, nice and long. It's just perfect. As long as I don't have my giant stock tanks out, that's pretty much all, or stock pots out. That's pretty much all that I reach for. And they just don't break. I've had one crack down the middle, about 1 inch, but that's it. Hey Chris, how you doing? Yeah, these things are just phenomenal. Every time I see them at TJ Maxx or Home Goods or whatever, when my wife's there looking at stuff, I generally will pick it up. It's just so darn handy. Yeah, I suppose so. Let's see. Let's see. Other than that, I've got a few of the silicone ones around for, you know, scraping out ingredients and stuff like that. But yeah, I tend to just prefer the wood ones, and these aren't bamboo either. It feels like a hardwood to me. I don't know. I just like it. Jeep and beer. Hey, no retracting messages here. Pretty sure we've covered this before, guys. You got the balls to hit send. You should have the balls to leave it up. Oh, Battle got him. But Jeep and beer, no, not a professional chef, just a dad trying to take care of business. I don't always have the time to keep up on it on the daily. So I just get to it when I can. And for me right now, that's today. Battle. So yeah, Jeep and Beer, appreciate you stopping by. I feel like I've seen you out there in the ether before. Should be back here any second. Battle didn't scare him away. Oh yeah, Battle, you scared him. Uh-oh. Hey, Jeep and Beer, yeah, I appreciate that. Just a little collection of stuff that I've sorted out over the years, and you know, my wife's got a particularly sensitive palate. she wouldn't call herself picky, but a discerning palate. So we've had to develop quite a, there we go, unique flavor. Generally styled after the Korean countryside. Potent. To pretty much sum it up. Well, actually, Battle, the cooking videos are not sweet at all if you pay attention. I use hardly any sugar whatsoever. Not a huge fan of the stuff. I mean, who doesn't like sugar? But I try to cook with it as little as possible. Use the least amount just to get the effect without having to deal with all the extra carbs. Oh yeah, the pancakes and bread, you know, got a good. Now the bread didn't get any sugar. Oh wait, you know what? That first bread video I did, that got a little sugar, but that's, you know, unusual for me. I tend to avoid it wherever possible. All right, let's get this dishwasher started. But yeah, normally when I am putting any kind of sugar or honey or sweetener into recipes, I generally quarter the recommended amount on the high side. There's no need for that much sugar to go in there. Alright, let's get this sink emptying. Yeah, exactly, Battle. And you know, the only reason to add sugar to bread, I mean, unless you're making a specific sweet bread, the only real reason they put it in there is so that fast-acting yeast can produce faster and they don't have to spend as much time waiting. But like with a sourdough, it's a long first ferment of the dough. And I find when you really let it ferment well, you get a lot less of the negative effects of all the carbs. Like it hardly bumps my issues with blood sugar at all. Oh yeah, anytime you can swap out for something that's processed less, I feel like it's a good move. I've used honey a lot, as well as like molasses and things like that. Anytime I switch to something like that for a recipe, it's always a solid move. Yeah, exactly, Battle. Exactly. Hey, Phil, welcome back. Yeah, and you know, with our breads, we do let them ferment a long time, a lot longer than normal. And like we were talking about the other day, like this sourdough starter I actually originally got off Amazon, and then I was able to get a strain from a local farmer, and I just mixed the two together, and it just makes the best bread. You know, it could be nice and light on the sour flavor, or you can really let it ferment and develop. It's quite a fun process. Tricky to get just right, but you know, I'm still working on that. I've been making bread, you know, 7-8 years now. All right, Battle, go forth and conquer, my friend. Do the good work. Uh-oh. Regular Star just posted a video about why he's getting roasted his side. Well, Cody, if you ever see this, I think it might be the hat. I know it's fond childhood memory, but that's a bold hat to be wearing. I think I'm much more of a fan of that green or the black. So anybody doing anything good for this weekend? Or how about the holiday pass, Martin Luther King Day? Wasn't really a huge deal for us, but then again, holidays in general is just kind of another day since we're both semi-retired. Still doing carnivore? Not really. I've kind of phased back into a more normal diet. On average, I'm up about 2 pounds or so from my most recent carnivore stint's low weight. But I feel like just for the simplicity of being able to eat what I have to cook for the rest of the family, it's not a terrible trade-off. Installation and plumbing, yeah. Worthy endeavor there, Phil. You can always use some more insulation. Hey Chase, what's going on, man? How you doing? I'm just hanging out here Friday midday. Just doing the things that need to get done. Getting here to the bottom of the sink. I don't know if I'm going to make it to silverware. I might just put that to the side, get the sink cleaned out. I have to see how much battery life I have left here. Seems like we're doing okay there. How are we doing over here? Does not say. Oh well. Figure if it dies, then I'll know I ran out. Yeah, Matthew, I know what you mean. Overall, I want to say that I'm trying to keep sugar to a minimum, but I also know that if I were to leave it at that without a huge caveat, I would be being quite dishonest, because as much as I want to keep sugar to a low, sometimes my cravings just get to the better of me. So I try to cap it after a certain point, and then just try to be honest with myself about, okay, how much food do I need to not eat to counteract the effects of what I just shoveled down my throat in a gluttonous manner. And things stay relatively constant once I came to that point. Hey, Jeep and Beer. We got this at Costco. They've got the new version out this year. I believe it's the Kohler sink faucet combo. I like it. We had a cast iron 2 basin one before. It was kind of like off-centered. You know, the side with the disposal was smaller and the other side was bigger. And I don't know. I just wasn't the hugest fan of it. You know, it worked fine. If that's what we still have, I'd make work out of it. I'd make it work. But I definitely prefer this. Ooh, chocolate chip cookies. Yeah, that's a rough one to ignore. Especially if they're like chocolate peanut butter. Double whammy. Oh, but yeah, George, if you're still here, I was just ruminating on what you said earlier. Yeah, Security Plus is a great one to have. Just do not slack on that continuing education credits, or they will yank those certs. I've got, I think, A Plus and Net Plus. I've got the lifetime ones still, but my Security Plus is lapsed because that was right after they came out with the new model, the CompTIA. Oh, Matthew, there's never enough. There's never too much cookie dough going around. I mean, every time I do make cookies, and you know, it's been a while. About a third of the dough never makes it to the oven. Between me and the kids, you know, that's not all just my fat ass. Cleaned out. Load our silverware up so we can soak some. That'll be perfect. Just not filthy. Yeah, I have to admit I cheated on you guys today. Normally I open up this stream with a 5-hour energy, but I had to take mine about 2 hours ago just to really get going. Some of these late nights are really sapping the energy from me. I need to get back to bed on time, but I just haven't felt like it lately. I've been enjoying other activities and ventures instead. I might get another one in here before I go on a walk later. That needs to go back in there. Great. Kids were playing with my air plugs, my fermenting plugs again. About it, yeah. The rest of that can get washed. All right, Phil. Best of luck to you. Just plop these in here. I'll deal with these later. Yeah, there we go. Put a couple of those filthy things there for you guys. Yeah, George, I'm trying to find that balancing act right now between, you know, developing a new hobby that I want to pursue more than I want sleep. but also knowing that if I do that and I don't sleep, then I'm not going to be able to fulfill my pro duties, so to speak. So I've just got to find that balance and then roll with it, you know. Sometimes a little heavy on the housework side, sometimes a little heavy on the hobby side. And, you know, as long as things are getting done overall and not going to the wayside too much, figure that's not too bad of a deal. So, and thus here we are, doing a little bit of multitasking, a little bit of hobby, and a little bit of pro-ho. Or I believe one of the other guys mentioned a TradCon husband. I believe that was the term he used. Yeah, Matthew, I'm not so sure if that's possible. Not for the long term. I mean, some people do it, but I know that they are also artificially wired out of their minds during certain parts of the day. And I kind of want to live longer than that. So, although I definitely do see the appeal of it, I try to limit my wanderings down the artificial enhancement route. I mean, I try to stick to mainly just caffeine and then maybe some nicotine here and there. And other than that, I just can't quite handle it. I mean, at this point, even those have come to the point to where I just need them just to be able to function bare minimum. You know, laundry, dishes, food, cleaning. But, you know, it's just a phase I'm going through right now. And hopefully, Lord willing, there'll be a light at the end of the tunnel. Man, Phil, that's impressive. And you know, not to poke at things, I also am well aware that as people, you know, age some, their body requires less sleep. Right now, my kids, they sleep for, you know, between 8 and 14 hours every day, depending on where they are in growth cycles and activity levels and whatnot. And for the longest time, if I didn't get 8 hours of sleep, or 8.5 hours of sleep, was my magic number for a number of years. But I also do see the signs of, like the wife and I, needing a little bit less sleep and still be able to function properly. So I wonder how much of that, you know, plays into the equation for you, and how much of it is just grit. You know, grit that, you know, we as Americans, I feel, are losing. Just to be able to say, hey, no, this needs to get done, and I'm going to push through, lack of sleep and all. I don't know. What do you think? Yeah, Chase, I get you. I also do find that if I plan my sleep in cycles, I can get away with less sleep more often. I just have to catch up on it for a few days, and then I can go back to less and have that work out for me. Alright, I'm filtering this out as I am running the disposal, and this is exactly why. A couple pairs of chopsticks hidden in there, fork and a spoon, and a canning lid. I just got this all working, new sink and garbage disposal, and I do not want to screw it up already. I should quite like having them. Yeah, I've been listening to some of the Joe Rogan clips, as well as, you know, Huberman, and kind of just picking apart what they purport as being, you know, ideal, and, you know, different ways to manage stuff. And at the same time, I've just went through a couple of sleep studies, and found out that I'm going to be hooked up to a CPAP machine here soon at night. And so I wonder if with that, I can sleep fewer hours and still get a higher quality of sleep. So that might be a thing as well. All right, sounds good, Chase. Thanks. I'll have to poke in later and check on that. All right, let's get this sink cleaned out. Try to wash down as much of this grease and grime as I can. Filter out the big chunks. And let the city deal with the rest. Is that Emizera? Cool name. I've got an iPad up with the live stream on so I can keep up with the chat. And then I believe there's a Galaxy Note that I'm filming on right now. Username was Tankin. See, cleaning ASMR? Not quite. I'm just a dad trying to keep up on keeping the house running. And this is one of my failing points, is having the motivation to get dishes done on a regular basis. So, I had the idea with a couple of buddies of mine to go ahead and start live streaming it and see if I can turn a pain point into something that's actually fun and enjoyable and, you know, provide some edification for myself and a few others at the same time. And so far, I have to say, it's been quite fun. So, just finished with everything that was in the sink itself, plus a huge stack of plates and bowls. Just rinsing off those and then getting them running in the dishwasher. Now getting the sink clean and deciding what I'm going to go with next. I think it's going to be silverware because that's what we need the most. I mean, I've got counters full of dishes waiting to be washed right now. So we shall see how much we get through before other duties call. There we go, get that charging. Ooh, hot damn, that's fast. Yeah, let's get the silverware rocking and rolling. All right, let's rinse this out real quick. Exactly, Chase. It's a bit more bearable. Oh, Matthew, that's rough. Yeah, there's options to get around that, but none are really simple. I'm sure you've thought those through already. Let's get these knives handled too at the same time. Is that J-Ho Rigby? So many dishes because I prioritize, partly out of necessity, partly from procrastination, getting other things done on the daily. So they tend to build up as soon as I start cooking. And then I handle them every few days when I feel like, you know, just buckling down for a few hours and taking a big chunk out of them, or knocking them out entirely. Not the best solution. You know, it'd be far better to maintain things and clean them as I use them. But after years of struggling to try and do that, I just accepted that this works better for me. And a battalion, no. You know, fire team, maybe, but not a battalion yet. That would be fun. Because then I could cook for tons and tons of people, and then all those other people would have to wash the dishes. Alright, now I've got another bowl here with some odds and ends in it. Still got this from making bread the other day, so I'll get that stuff soaking. Put some of the pointy bits in there that need washing. Let's see. Let's see. Be better to have something that works than an idea that ever happens. Exactly. Yeah, once I accepted that this just works better for me, it just made the whole thing so much less stressful. And I stopped beating myself up every time I walked into the kitchen for being a lazy slob. And that once I had a solid workaround, and I wasn't being lazy, that was just understanding my situation and how to work through it. And that vastly improved my mindset. All right, let's get this stuff knocked out here. But yeah, so in the meantime, you know, a few of the buddies drop by. We have a chit chat, kind of talk about whatever you guys have on your mind, and just let me, you know, expound on my soapbox, which I've also been told is a skill of mine, for better or for worse. Tend to put the wife to sleep every time I do it, so I don't get the chance to do it very much anymore. But yeah, also in that time, I found out a very efficient way to tackle a massive amount of dishes. I mean, my first goal is plates and bowls. You know, anything else I can fit into the dishwasher, get it rinsed off and scrubbed off, all the grime off. Then just put a little bit of soap in there and set it for a quick 1 hour cycle. And while that's doing that, I go after the kitchen utensils, knives, spatulas, that kind of thing. And then I tackle the actual silverware while that's running. And if I still have time on the cycle, then I will grab whatever I can to fill up this drying rack over here. And generally around that time, the dishwasher is about done. And then I can pop that thing open, let those things air dry real quick because they're nice and hot, put them away, and I can reload it and go again. So, and it just kind of like leapfrogs. I can generally get 2 cycles in before the drying rack is so full that I have no more room under this counter to stuff anything else on it. And so I will either stop there or lay out some towels on the counter behind me and just set things out to dry. And I think my record is about 3.5 hours. But the entire kitchen was completely cleaned. Stove included, countertops, you name it. So here I am. Doing dishes again. That could be a good parody. See, I told you guys I was good at monologuing. I could just go on and just expound upon my soapbox for a while. see. Oh, hey, Matthew, I see that. Bought a cyclone booster last week. See how long that goes. Not sure if I want to go up the ladder 20 feet in this weather. Yeah, I would not recommend that. One thing you could do is put it up on a piece of pipe or conduit if you have that handy, and just run it up like a mast until then. See if it, like a proof of concept, to see if you want to go through all the trouble of actually permanently mounting it to something. You just have to make sure to force yourself to untemporary that situation if you do decide to keep it, because we all know how temporary situations become a permanent situation. Get all this rinsed off here and go right back inside that clean bowl. Yeah, especially when, you're going to go and install a piece of hardware like that. You want to know if it's going to work, especially before you go through all that effort. I've done it the other way around, knowing that my solution was going to work perfectly. And so I went through the whole kit and caboodle to have to install it properly without testing it. And believe me, I regret not testing it first. And I convinced myself that the number of times that it actually does work out exactly how I planned it is proof enough that I don't need to test it. But proof of concept's always a wonderful thing. You guys get much background noise? Can you guys hear the dishwasher running? Trying to figure out how sensitive this new mic is. Hey, Jeep and Beer, feel free to stop by anytime. You're always welcome. Cool, Matthew. Cool. That is exactly what I wanted. Yeah, I can see it over here on the receiver. It bumping up on the traffic every time the dishwasher pumps. So I wasn't sure exactly how much was coming across versus not, but that is good to hear. It's neat to know that it picks up the scrubbing so well. Yeah, Phil. I mean, I knew when I was going through school, and mind you, I had one of the best school districts in the nation, or, so they said, at the time. And I knew that it was what's the word I'm looking for? an endeavor that wasn't suited to everybody that was there, and it wasn't necessary for everybody that was there. There was a lot of just wasting of time, and the politics just made it difficult to receive some kind of a good education. I mean, something that you would actually practically need. I mean, there's no reason to force every single student to go through a whole semester of art. I mean, I hate art. I mean, I think art is fairly futile. The only thing I learned from that class, was the difference between primary and secondary colors. I mean, that would have taken all of 2 minutes to explain to anybody. So, our kids have been homeschooled since day one. We knew as soon as my wife got pregnant that that's what we wanted to do. And they are extremely bright, 8 and 10, and they're learning, reading and writing in 2 different languages. I mean, much more than any other kid at that age in public schools. And on top of that, we're teaching them, math and geography and chemistry, nature sciences, all sorts of anything that we come up on in our daily lives that they have questions about. We do our best to explain everything we can and provide further educational sources, whenever our own understanding of a topic lacks. And so it's just, you can't beat it. I do know soon that we are going to have to use a more formal curriculum, but it'll still all be home base. And it just confirms what I knew when I was a kid, that, public schools aren't necessary, how they currently are. And they're not even adequate for what kids actually need. I mean, I had no idea what property taxes were until I got a bill saying that I was, that I owed, $2,000 in property taxes. And then I had to say, it's like, wait, what's property taxes? Nobody ever told me about that. So, I can definitely tell you that my kids are going to understand what taxes are before they owe thousands of dollars that they don't have. What are the lawyer channels you watch? Yeah, Phil, it's just crazy. Those lawyer channels are really good. I find that I've gotten such a deeper understanding of how the judicial branch operates, more than what I got in school, and the government semester that we had. I mean, that could have been, a 4-year course on government. I still feel like we would have not covered it all. And that was one of the topics I actually really liked. Just understanding how it was all supposed to work or intended to work. All very idealistic. All right, gentlemen, I need to take a break for a moment. So you guys are just going to have to chill out here. See if we can make this kind of quick. Just a moment. All right, gentlemen. Let's see. Are we back now? You guys hear me okay? All right, I think so. All right. Back to it.
What's that?
Ka. You go watch your arm wrestling.
No, what's that?
Go watch your arm wrestling. Later.
But I'm hungry.
You're always hungry, okay? Let me finish my dishes here, and when you guys are done with your arm wrestling stuff, I'll get you something to eat. Okay? You can't just walk in and demand food, child, and expect it to be given to you right away, okay?
But where did you get that phone?
Don't you roll your eyes at me like that. Seriously, 8 years old. Thanks, Phil. I think we're at the point of finishing up this stuff that's here in the sink, and then we will probably have to be done for the this session. Master Beater, how you doing? You know, if you keep that up, you're gonna put your eye out. Was that meter beater? Oh yeah, I see it now. I got a little smudge on my screen. Apologize, but still, same sentiment applies. Hot Pockets, no. But I will make my own Jamaican jerk patties, or what's it called? Or dumplings, or steam buns, or stuff like that. So I mean, kind of similar concept, just less commercialized. Okay. Let's get this over here. So we put you away. There we go. Chug maple syrup and then chop down trees? Yes, I have done both. I've got quite a few axes out in the garage, a couple of chainsaws. And then we've got a few different kinds of maple syrup, actually. So, yeah kind of right on there. All just depends on what needs to be done for the day, I suppose. So if you guys ever come across one of these, it's an actual Tupperware branded spreader spatula. These things are tough as nails, and they just work so well. It's actually made in the U.S. too. This thing is older than I am. It was ancient when I was a kid, and then I stole it from my mother with her blessing. You know, not really stolen, but I just kind of told her I was taking it. Yeah, and it has served me very well. Holds up way better than the silicone stuff. That's just nice. So if you can ever find one of those, snag it. It's an absolute gem. Yeah, Chris, exactly. You know, you control the definitions. You take away the print copies of things. You can change a society relatively quickly with that kind of power. All right, let's get this water nice and hot again. Finish these up and do a final clean of the sink, and that'll be it for today. Oh, cool, Phil. Yeah, I wonder if they are still up to the same standard that they used to be, 20, 30 years ago. 40 years ago? Good Lord, maybe longer. Just had to think about how old I was there for a second. I mean, I'm not that old, but remember the actual number of my age. Gotcha. Yeah, I've got a couple of things like that sitting around here. Some were from my parents and some from my grandparents. And some of that older stuff is just skookum. You just can't beat it. Okay, I'll do straws later. That looks like we could use a slightly better rinse. Alright, let's see if there's any water that wants to escape here. There's a little bit. And then a chopstick. Okay. Yeah, Chris, for sure. It definitely is. There ain't no doubt about it. And it might have some questionable materials in there. But stuff like that, you don't want to really get hot anyways. And so I feel like the bleaching would be kept to a minimum. So I'm not too concerned about it. Guys, give me a second here. I will show you one of my favorite items from my grandparents. Found in an old box of kitchenwares from them. I absolutely love it. Scrub this out real quick. Huh. Interesting, Phil. Yeah, I wouldn't trust that. Hey, Dorian. I am yeah, just wrapping up for now. Got some other activities and obligations that need to be fulfilled. And so I'm just wrapping up for now. He finished most of the party, but I am going to share one of my gems that I found in my grandparents' stuff with you guys here real quick before we close out. Let's see, what does it say on here? A multi-product. Let's see. Made in France, the multi-shredder. This little thing has stood up to more and performed better than my big food processor. It's just that little thing right there, and it has a whole series of cutting wheels in there. You want to talk about a amazing tool for something like Parmesan? This is it. It just grates right through the rind and all. Absolutely loved death out of this little thing. I've used it like crazy, and it's probably, you know, oh, it's ancient for sure. But yeah, all these little things like that, you just can't pass them up, and they're just dead useful. I've even used that when making kimchi and whatnot before. Hey, Bell, Liver King. That's an interesting comparison. I'm nowhere near built the way he is. Wouldn't be a fan of the products that he used to get there, at least in the quantities that he did. But man, that physique, you cannot argue with it whatsoever. It is well done. That's all I gotta say. Alrighty then, gents. I am off to other tasks. I will catch you guys all out there in the interwebs. Thanks for stopping by.